Canadians that may be concerned about what's coming in the offing. We have the Chief Medical Officer up there, David Williams, saying that Canadians who refuse the vaccine will not have the freedom to move around. This is something that people need to be taking a really good look at, whether it's your country, your state, city, whoever's calling these shots and implementing these things and enforcing it on the people. You have to take a good look at what's going on there. Now, he's saying you're not going to have the freedom to move around, and you're going to have to continue to wear a mask. He was on the state, and he acknowledges that we can't force someone to take a vaccine. Okay? So, when you hear Biden and all these others come out saying, oh, we're not going to mandate it, Biden says we're not going to mandate it on a federal level, well, this just means the states pick up the baton at that point, and they turn to their governors, or their little dictators, as I call them, that they put into position, or their mayors, like Lightfoot in Chicago. All of this comes back to a control mechanism. And they say that what we can do is we'll say you won't have access to certain things if you don't have proof of vaccination. So they're not going to force you to get the vaccine, but they're telling you right now you're not going to be able to go into the ball club, the restaurant, the bar, back to normal life, back to anything as they see it, unless you can prove that you've been vaccinated. If you can't, there's going to be all these circumstances. So this is where we sit, and it's not just with Canada. This seems to be the stance that a lot of world leaders are taking, trying to make it look like on the surface, not going to mandate it, but then on the other side of the coin, they're mandating all this. They're using the businesses. Do you see this? All the businesses that are still alive, how can that be? All of your mom and pop shops got wiped out, but all these other businesses are still alive because they're complying and they're a part of the system. Anyhow, I'm going to break this down further on the next live stream. Make sure to join me over on D-Live. Online Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern, breaking this down. And there's always a replay of the This is DAHBOO77. We have some more warnings being put out here from different organizations around the world, this time from the World Food Program, saying that they've made a dire forecast about the months ahead, stating that it's going to be catastrophic. Now we also have the WFP chief, David Beasley, sounding the alarm at the UN's General Assembly. They just had a meeting on Friday. They've all convened to discuss what was going on with this worldwide pandemic and its effects. And then they warned that 270 million people are now marching towards starvation. Now we know that many of these countries are getting hit hard by the effects of this. Here in the United States, we watch jobs get wiped out, people are on unemployment, people are starving, and it's bad. We haven't seen times like these since the Great Depression. So many people right now have never seen anything like this. And if you think it's bad in a place like America, can you just imagine for a second what it's like in other countries that are decimated? How about all these war-torn areas? What about the guy that walks out his front door every day, has to see this crap? You know, that's like that all over the globe. Hardly any food to be found. Some people should be thankful for what they have, truly. We're going to have to fight to keep what we have and any other freedoms. That's a fact. Or else you're going to be left like this. It seems that this is the plan, to starve the people out, to control them globally. And, well, we know there's an agenda for 2030. I break this down clearly on the live streams, so make sure to join me on the live streams, on D-Live, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Shalom. Foremost, give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Rakadash. Salutation to the elders and apostles, GMS groups, and ones alike, teacher 100% true. Shalom, Barakathon to them for the edification and knowledge. And double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS groups and ones alike, teacher 100% true. Shalom, Barakathon to them. And foremost, give all praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Bahashem, Rakadash. One was talking about two DAHBOO7 videos talking about one in Canada relating to the vaccinations. If you don't, you can lose. You won't be able to move freely. And the other one talks about relating to catastrophics relating to next year. And we'll go to some scriptures. We'll go to 2nd Ezra 15, and we'll start at 14 through 19, the classic. Woe unto the world and them that dwell there, and warning for destruction. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands, civil unrest. 16. For there shall be sedition among men, invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Sedition, insurrection, uprising, taking the power back in their hands, not regarding kings and princes, or princes of powers, or authority. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to martial law. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, and the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Related to hellish state and condition. Hellish state and condition that pretty much that's going to be going on in society. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword, and spoil their goods because of lack of bread, famine, and for great tribulation. The precursors of tribulation, a great tribulation, the famine, Jacob's trouble, even death, destruction, cannibalism, which is because of a lack of bread and food, civil unrest, the mark of the beast, radio frequency identification of device. So all these are precursors of what's to come. Great tribulation, times of sorrow, related to the birth pains of women in travail. We go to 2nd Ezra 15 and 49. I will send plagues upon thee. The widowhood. Widowhood is a state of being a widow. Poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. It's pretty much the judgments that's going to come upon society, man. The Lord is going to begin to visit what He has made, man. So measure thy time diligently in thyself. Measure the time, because measure the time diligently relating to the things that's going on in society. Analyzing and see for things that's going on. Second Ezra 15 and 58. They that be in the mountain shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread, famine, and thirst of water. So a lack of water, lack of bread, that relates to cannibalism. Those things went on in the ancient times. It's going to reoccur again, because nothing has changed under the sun, as it says in Scripture. So the things that once were of ancient and old are going to return back, but intensified even more. (16 and 18). We'll start there. The beginnings of sorrows and great mourning, the beginnings of famine and great death, the beginnings of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear, and the beginnings of evils. We're in the beginnings of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? 19. Behold, famine and the plague, tribulation, anguish are sent as scourges for the amendment. Scourges is a tool for implement for punishment. But for all these things, they shall not turn from their wickedness. That relates to the 2/3 majority of the population, nor be always mindful of the scourges. So even when these things come upon the great multitudes of nations of people, people are still going to continue stubbornly like nothing's going on. 21. Behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in a good case, and even then shall evils grow upon the earth, the sword and famine and great confusion. So when they think things are like cheap or convenient and stuff, they're going to underestimate relating to really what's going on. You know what I mean? And because of that, certain things are going to catch them unawares, man. For the Lord is going to be like a thief in the night, relating to 2 Peter's in 3:10. And the reason why he's going to come like a thief in the night, because the people are not preparing, they're not watching, they're not paying attention relating to the things that's going on, most of all relating to the times we're in, and most of all they're not paying attention that the Lord is beginning to come back. You know what I mean? So the Lord is going to take them, it's going to catch them like a thief in the night, and it's going to catch them unawares. For there shall be in every place in the next cities a great insurrection upon those that fear the Lord. This is 16:70. They shall be like madmen, sparing none, but still spoil and destroying those that fear the Lord. For they shall waste and take away their goods and cast them out of their houses. This relates to pretty much the persecutions, the beginning persecutions and insurrection of the people who fear the Lord. But it's also going to relate to pretty much the state and condition of society and how people are going to be relating to those times. There's going to be a great insurrection, of violent uprising, civil unrest, nation against nation, nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom. Matthew 24, Luke 21, Mark 13. Things happen in different places, and that's the times we're in, man. That being said, this was just something short relating to that video, because we're in very critical, crucial, and very complex times. That being said, it's the water for listening. Hope it benefit. Give all praise to DAHBOO77, Shalom.